This is patch 924. I'm not going to read all the text. It's too much text. So let's just go straight into it. There's some new skins, which are kind of cool. Anything we want. This sucks. Oh, never mind. All the skins are fucking awful. We don't want any of them. It's none of my champions. So Apelius, I don't think he's out yet. I don't know. When is he coming out? Is it like next week or something? Let me check. Can I buy him? I don't think he's out yet. I'm pretty sure he's not out yet. I think he comes out like midweek. That's what normally happens. Alright, so let's look at the changes. Akali, remove the hitbox behind Akali so Q only goes forward. Q minion and monster damage increased. Wait, what? Q minion and monster damage? Oh, decreased. Yeah, okay. Read right. So, I don't like this change. But what Ryze is saying is, this is a pro-facing specific change we're making since many pro players use this uniquely shaped hitbox to wave clear optimally while most other players have a hard time accessing and utilizing it properly. This is bad. You know, what they should be doing is say, you know what, pro players, you guys are really good at using your spell, that's cool. Other people, shape up, get better, try to use it better. I don't agree with nerfing it just because, well, only pro players can use it, only good players. That's really stupid. So I don't like this change. I do think Akali, she's overpowered right now. She's really good top lane. She's very hard to play. She does need a nerf. I don't really mind this. I think it's an okay nerf overall. Makes it harder for her to wave clear, which is extremely important in high level of play. Not so important in low level of play. And she's OP in high level of play. So I understand it. I agree with it. I don't agree with this thing though, with removing the hitbox. But I do agree with decreasing the damage. You could even decrease the damage more and then just keep the hitbox the same. Alright, Amumu. Dude, this is fucking irrelevant. Nobody cares. 10 seconds instead of 12 seconds. It's not gonna change anything, dude. Same thing, same old Amumu. It's a buff, but it's irrelevant. Braum. Ooh, this is a big ass change. Alright. Health growth increased. Health regen increased. This is really, really big. He's getting a lot more health now. 11 per level is huge. And then a little bit more health regen is also very, very good. I think... Oh, shit. I want to open my window. I think increasing base stats is one of my favorite ways to buff champions, so I do like this. Braum was not a top support. He was good, but not OP. And not in the top levels. Like you had Norles, Leona, and those kind of heroes. So I think this is good. He wasn't super bad or anything. Let's see what else do they do. W, stand behind me. Cooldown is decreased by 2 seconds. Again, not a massive change. It can maybe be utilized 2 times in a team fight now instead of 1 sometimes. But overall, I don't really think that matters too much. 40 mana at all ranks. I used to play a lot of Braum. I don't remember if I went out of mana. I don't feel like I went out of mana, so this should be irrelevant. Maybe I do want to go out of mana, but I don't think so. I don't think this really matters that much, but I could be wrong. Resistances to ally, resistances to self. So he went from 10, 14, 18, 22, 26 plus X bonus to 10 the same plus 12 bonus. So this is a nerf on your ally champ. Then you jump your ally champ, they get stronger. Now they're nerfed. They're not getting as strong. However, Braum himself becomes a mega tank. Oh, this is actually super cool because now Braum is focused on being tanky. This is a big buff as well because generally the guy you jump to is going to be the AD carry who's not very tanky. So the 12% bonus resistances or the loss of 4% is not a big deal. However, you gaining, how much is this, 20? You're gaining 20% bonus resistance is enormous. That's a lot. That makes you tank so much more. Like if you have 100 armor and 100 magic resist and you use this on you and you have 1,000 health, that gives you an extra 200 health, effective health basically. That's a lot, right? That's an extra auto attacker too, depending on how strong people are and how late in the game it is. This is really, really big. Glacial Fissure. The ultimate does more damage at level 2 and level 3. It's 50 more each level, so 50 and 100. Target knockup is... Wait, what? 7.25 seconds for those hitting the fissure. General knockup for those in the close vicinity. 1 to 1.5 seconds all ranks based on the distance from Braum for the first target. Interesting. This seems like a huge buff. Actually, Braum could be really good right now. I want to play him when I go to support. I play support a lot. And I want to try out Braum. He seems to be decent now. He used to be 2nd tier, I guess, or 3rd tier. Now maybe he's tier 1. Diana. Oh man, this is so much text. Alright, let's skip the text. This is visual updates, I believe. Brand new ability icons. Okay, yep. Visual updates. Base stats increased by 50 mana. That's a lot. 5 mana growth. That's also enormous. Level 18, that's going to be 18x5. That's a lot. Attack damage is increased by 4. This just bring her up to par. I think most people have more attack damage nowadays. Back in the day, you used to have very low attack damage, but nowadays most champs just have a lot at level 1, so I think this is normal. Moon Prism gain 10 to 40% attack speed, level 1 to 18. Innate? What? Can you triples attack speed done against from Moon Silver Blade for 3 seconds? Oh, that's huge. That's a big ass buff. Interesting. Your first strike cleaves nearby enemies for 20 to 250 plus for additional, or 0.4 ability power, additional magic damage. Well, there's just a nerf, right? There's just a big ass nerf on the second part. But like, why are they doing this nerf? Are they trying to change the way she buys items? Because like now she gets less AP. Maybe. Let's see what the rest is. Crescent Strike, the cost is lowered. She gets more mana, and the cost is lowered, which means she can spam abilities. W cooldown is increased to 15 seconds, and then goes down to 9. Base shield is from 40 to 30. Oof. They hurt nerfing it hard. The orb damage raised to 0.2 ability power, total 0.6 ability power to 0.15. They're nerfing all the ability powers a lot. I think maybe they want it to be more like a auto attacker. Like they wanted to maybe have Witten and shit like that. I don't know. This is some weird changes. E ability. That's all ultimate. The E cooldown is being reduced. This is such a weird change because they reduce it, right? But they put more level increments. So this is going to be like 5 times now instead of 3 times. This was 6, 12, 18, I think, or 6, 11, or 18, something like that, or 16. And now it's, I don't remember the level increments, but it's changed. I don't actually think this matters too much. The cost is lowered again. The damage is lowered. The ability power is lowered. So everything, she's more like a spam bot now. Cooldown from her ultimate is 26 seconds to 100 seconds. It's nerfed a lot. The cost is 100 mana now. That's buffed, but that's nerfed as well. But I mean, the thing is, Diana has so much more mana now that this is irrelevant. She gets so much buff in the mana department. The slow is 40, 50, 60 instead of the 5 increments. Doesn't really matter too much. Very similar. If Diana puts in 1 or more enemies, the Moonlight crashes down onto her after 1 second, dealing 200, 300, 400 plus 0.6 ability power, magic damage, and area around her increased by 35, 60, 85 for each target beyond the first pulled. Ooh. So basically what they're doing is they're making Diana more of a team fighter. She's not so much an assassin anymore. She used to be an assassin. She used to go in and one-shot people. Now she seems to be more of a weaker person or a weaker champion. Aside from when she gets into a team fight, she actually makes a really good ultimate, and that's her new power. I don't really know if I like this. I kind of don't like this. I don't know if I like this. Honestly, I can't tell you. I played with Diana last game. I just had a game where I played in here, and we actually managed to win. My Diana kind of sucked. My Lee Sin sucked as well, but we did win the game. Diana had some amazing ultimates, and if she's allowed to have those amazing ultimates, which hits 3 or 4 people, it does a lot. But otherwise, I think she's nerfed. Probably just harder to play now. And easier for the enemy team to play around. Garen. Additional E-spins and spin damage decreased. Okay, so they're just decreasing it depending on attack speed, I guess. Number of spins. 7 plus 1 per 20. Yeah. Nerfed by attack speed. There's a big change. It does a lot. Spin damage is... Oh, it's decreased based on the level. So it's not decreased based on the damage or anything you have. It's just based on levels. It's a big decrease, though. I mean, Garen's OP right now. I think he's too easy to play. He should be a good champion, but not OP at all. He shouldn't even be a viable high elo. Nerfing him is good. I agree with everything they did. His damage is too high. And he's still going to be viable, I think. Karma, we buff in Karma in a way that those who build her more support your item will appreciate. Base shield is increased by 30 at max level. Okay. I mean, it helps. It's definitely a useful buff. You can spam it a little bit. That's fine. It's not going to be massive. It's not going to make us see karma all over the place. It's going to be a nice little change. Kassadin. Q cooldown now scales. W mana. The Q cooldown scales, which is just a nerf overall. It's the same at max level at level 9. Besides that, it's a nerf. I don't think it matters too much because you're not going to spam it in lane that much. Like having a bit longer cooldown on the Q is not going to be a massive difference. Then mana restore. He restores less mana, which I guess is a big nerf because normally Kassadin right now have way too much mana. He just spams his ultimate all day. If he doesn't have as much mana, it's going to be harder for him to do that. I do like these changes. I think they're good. Because Kassadin isn't crazy OP, but he can be overpowered. And it seems like this is a good patch for that. Rammus, cooldown nerf, or buff. Sorry. Cooldown's getting buffed. His health growth's getting buffed. Health growth matters a lot. This one doesn't really matter much. It's 10 seconds from 12 seconds at max rank, which means you're going to be able to taunt people more often, but normally you're only going to get it off once, so it doesn't really matter much. Maybe you can have a niche situation where it really matters, but it's very rare. Ryze, Q damage decreased. So I don't think Ryze is overpowered right now that hard. He is really strong. He's extremely good in the hands of really good players too. I don't mind playing against him though. And Conqueror is already getting nerfs, so I don't think he deserves a Q nerf. It's nerfing it by 15 damage, which is quite a lot, especially early game. This is a really huge nerf. I don't like this change. I think it's a bad change. I think he's already nerfed the Conqueror nerf. And I do understand they're saying, oh, we're doing it because he's also good with face rush. But honestly, I don't think it's necessary. It's a really big nerf. He's going to take a hard hit. You might not think he takes a hard hit, but he's going to take a really hard hit here. This is a massive nerf. Senna. Health growth is decreased by a lot. Oh, damn, that's huge. Passive Absolution. Missed Rave drop chance. The drop chance changes. I never played Senna, so I don't even understand what the fuck this means. Q Piercing Darkness. Damage goes from 50 to 40 and 170. So it's just 10 less. And then it's 0.1 less scaling. I mean, this is pretty big, right? 10 less damage on the support, who doesn't have a lot of damage already. And the scaling damage difference is going to be a big difference. W Last Embrace. Root duration is going to be decreased early levels and the same late levels. This is also a massive nerf. It might only be 0.2 seconds, but that still is a lot. Then we have his ultimate, which is getting buffed a little bit with AP ratios, but he goes AD, so it's like kind of useless. I mean, if you got Baron Nashor, maybe it's useful, but yeah. That's a pretty big nerf. I think Senna is overpowered. She needed to be nerfed. They changed her. They nerfed her. It's not too hard considering she's overpowered. If she had been a normal hero, then it would be too hard, but this is a good nerf because she is overpowered. She was getting 2 more AD. As I said earlier, base stats have been increasing throughout times. Sivir haven't gotten hers yet, so this is a normal change. It's going to happen to a lot of champions that haven't gotten their change in base stats yet. Pretty normal. It doesn't really do anything. Kind of irrelevant. It just helps you last hit a little bit. Yuumi is getting changed a lot. Okay, let's read. Back to the OG. Now restores 50 to 160 mana. Base shield is going from 50 to 300. No, from 50 to 300 to 60 to 400. Wait, this is enormous. That's a fucking huge ass buff. I hate Yuumi. Oof. Q cost goes 10 higher? Okay. I don't know how her mana costs are, but I mean, she seems really OP sometimes, so. And she spams spells whenever I play against her, so I doubt it really matters. Damage ratio is decreased by a lot. Dude, there's like a 33% nerf on the AP ability power. Damage ratios, damn. The damage is... I hope it gets buffed, right? Yeah, the damage is getting buffed, so that makes sense, right? Her ability power is getting nerfed, or the ratio, but then her damage is getting buffed by a lot. This is actually insane. She gets 50 more damage, so... This is basically just nerfing the super OP or Magi, full AP, crazy-ass Yuumi who kills everything, into a more stable unit that doesn't spiral out of control. She's going to become more stable. She's not going to snowball as hard. I mean, I think this is a good change. I think Yuumi was really stupid, so yeah. You and Me now has a channel time of 0.25 and attaching from an unattached state. Yuumi no longer teleports via anchor when attached. Immobilizing Yuumi places this ability on a 5-second cooldown. Holy shit, that's huge. That means you can actually counter her now. If you stop her when she's trying to go on somebody, you can destroy her. This is a good change because it increases the skill level of Yuumi. I like it. Yuumi increased her allies' adaptive force by 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, plus 12, 14, 16, 18, 20% of her test allies' adaptive force. Okay, so this was buffed a lot. They're buffing her slightly in a lot of states, but they're making her less snowbally. And then they're also increasing the difficulty of playing her. I think these changes are good. The E zoomies. Attack zooms grants attack speed to herself or the anchor target. Okay. Okay. The heal is getting buffed. Wait, she actually heals a shit ton more now. Holy shit. But it no longer increases the Yuumi healing based on the target's missing health, so I guess that's just making up for that. Cooldown is decreased by a lot. The cost is increased by a huge amount. Holy shit, her cost are nuts now. 160 mana from 70? Yeah, they increased the difficulty of playing this champion by like a crazy amount. This is not going to be... Like, I always thought that Yuumi was the mercy of Overwatch. Basically, she's super fucking easy to play. No skill, no brain, no nothing. And now they increased the changes to her, which is really good. This is what Overwatch should have done to Mercy. They never did. I like every single update here. Actually, I think this patch overall is amazingly good. Some VFX updates, don't really care. The Conqueror is nerfed for ranged people, and it's nerfed for melees by duration being 8 to 6 seconds. I mean, I think that's fine. Doesn't really matter that much. The duration is going to be okay, unless you're chasing somebody, which... Actually, do I like this? Maybe I don't like this. Maybe this is bad. Do I like this? Actually, I think this decreases skill. No, I don't like this. I don't like the duration nerf, but I do like the range nerf. This was definitely necessary because Kassadin was overpowered with it. Ryze was overpowered with it. There's a lot of problems. But I don't like the duration nerf. I don't think this is necessary. This should not have happened. Prototype, Omnistone. We adjusted Omnistone to be a little smarter, giving you so that it's going to give you the right keystones when you need them. It's not going to give you some garbage Predator when you're already team fighting. I mean, it makes sense, right? Don't give you the garbage keystones. I don't know. People need to math this to find out if it's really good. And it's going to take a while for anyone to use this because it's such a stupid keystone. I think they should remove this keystone and make a new one again. Clip 2 is garbage. This one is worse. And I'm not talking about how strong it is. I'm just talking about how dumb it is. So, remove it, make a new one. But I think the change is good. You just don't have the numbers for it. These will document, this is some mid-patch changes. Don't really care about them because it already happened. Then the rest is some other stuff like ARAMs and the turn of the Pro King. So we're all good now. Hope you guys enjoyed that patch review.